Good morning and welcome. Currently just gone 7:30 AM here. And I've got the F18 and we're at Humberside, and look at that weather, look at that sky this morning. We're just lining up with the runway ready for takeoff. There's the map. There's the Humber River, that little gap we see right in front of the aircraft there. Alright, let's go. Let's put something useful on display there. How about... engine info. Alright. Yeah, so there's the Humber, that gap there. That bit sticking out is Flamborough Head, north of Brid. Let's go. Afterburners on. Bit of a crosswind. I was not clear to take off. Well... wow, look at that sky. It looks like a fire.
India Mike is type Boeing 1 miles north of Humberside, 700 feet. Request flight following. Boeing Foxtrot 3 Sierra India Mike Humberside approach. Squawk 0041.
I'll shut my radio guy off. I don't want to hear that the whole time. Hiya, Bob. Can you hear that radio guy the whole time? Is flight assistant radio off. There we go. Gonna see the Humber Bridge where I live. Look at the rain. I hope icing with this is automatic icing control, because I don't want to have to worry about it. There we go. Zoom out a tad. Well, this is the Humber, this black gap here. And this here is Hull. City of. Acknowledge? No. I'll not acknowledge, and then eventually you'll just give up on me. There is the Humber Bridge. There we go, ATC terminated. This here's the Humber Bridge, this big building. I say building, bridge. Kind of hard to see in the clouds, but I'll come at it from the other side a bit lower. Hopefully we can. And then we'll fly up north. Oh. Come on. Round we come, round we come. Bit lower, a bit lower. I think that's probably low enough. Add power in. What's happened to the where am I? Lost my bearings. I think there's the river. Some kind of big quarry there. Look at that. I didn't know we had such a large quarry so close to Hull. I can't see for cloud. I could end up flying right into it. I mean, look how low I am. All right, let's continue climb out then. Let's aim for that gap in the clouds there and take a look topside. Up we go. Can you hear me all right, Bob, today? I think I've finally got all my mic issues sorted out. Assuming he's still there. Look at what a pretty morning that is. Almost makes me want to run outside with my camera and try and grab that sunrise. I wonder if it really is. In fact, there is the Humber River to the north. Okay. So the reason I was thrown off with that quarry was the quarry was on the south of the Humber, not next to Hull. I was going to say I thought there was a new quarry in Hull I didn't know about, and it looked pretty big, and I thought, well, how had I never come across this? I have a new, not microphone, same microphone, but the thing that does the sound, because my old one had broken and I was trying to make do with something else that didn't really work properly. Anyway, I got a new sound, what do you call them? Compressor. There's the Humber Bridge from the top. One time was the longest suspension bridge in the world, that. Here's Hull Docks. My sister used to live down there somewhere between some of these docks. I think it was on that estate that I'm looking at now. Wow, look at these clouds. Proper thick clouds, trying to find a gap. There we go. And we're head towards Spurn Point here, so let's power on. Yeah, and right out the front there, you can see we've got a big wind farm out to sea. All those little red lights. As they build more and more wind farms off the coast, there's another bunch over there. You can see those from where I live on a night if you look out to sea. They flash on and off as well. They don't just stay solid like this. Yeah, it's still this dark here, Bob. Just starting to get light. Here's the mouth of the Humber, and here is Spurn Point. Not been down here for ages, and you can't always get to the end if it's a really high tide. Part of this island, part of this roadway that you see there gets shut off by the sea. And if you get trapped at the end there, you've got to stay there until the tide gets lower again. I think that's always what put Helen off visiting it. But yeah, I haven't been there for ages. There's Spurn Point. And over there we've got Grimsby and so on. We're going to double back and head north. Pilot squatting in the high G turn. Once again there, Spurn Point, and there's the River Humber. We're looking west that way. We're now flying north. Maybe. We have had a little bit of snow here, but I think it's basically gone by now. Might be somewhere that's still got a little bit. Unusual here to have snow. We don't get it every year. Now literally flying up the Yorkshire coastline, just like the video said we would be doing. And if we look there on map, there we have it. At some point we'll be passing a town here, this could be it, called Hornsey. Got Hornsey and Withensea before we get to Brid being the first bigger one. Shall we loop up, take a look at the sky? Looks like we might see some sun up there. Let's go up, afterburners on. See, there's some muck on the windscreen. There. And there we go, we found some sun. There we go. Just as we climbed high to see it, there it is. Yeah, that looks like a cold winter's morning if ever I saw it. Here at 30,000 feet. Alright, let's dive back down. Continue going up the coast. Particularly clear today, the weather, I have to say. It's never normally this clear. And it's very dark down here again until the sun gets here, but it's getting lighter all the time. This is Hornsey, and I should have recognised it by the lakes. That last place was Withensea. This one here with the lake there is Hornsey. There's the seafront, and these here the holiday parks with all the caravans. And there's a whole holiday park caravan site all along the coast here. Look, there's another one. Just loads and loads of caravans and static caravans, and this industry's took off big time again, rebounded since the whole COVID thing. Had people not going anywhere, instead putting their money into these caravans. You're kind of lumbered with it because you've obviously got it and the pitch, and you've got to maintain it and all year. And anyway, if that's what people want to do, you see they're literally littering the entire coastline. There's a whole bunch more there. Alright, take care, Bob. And here we are now coming up to Brid. Let's pull out so we can get a bit of a view. Not much to see in Brid, but they do have a harbour there. A lot of fishing going on there still. Can get proper fish and chips in Brid still before they've had chance to put all the preservative chemicals onto it. My cat loves the fish from here. Fish from the chippy. She loves it. Let's do a once around. Certainly the biggest town on the coast until we get up to Scarborough. The biggest one we've seen yet. There we have it. There's the spa. And the one high rise. The one high rise. And here we come up Sowerby. Nice area with a cliff front, lots of greenery on top. Old stately home. Try view across, big golf course there. And here we are at Flamborough Head. The bit of land, if we look on the map here, can I zoom in? Let's try. I can. The bit of land there that sticks out. I've flown my drone off the end here many a time, get some nice pictures or video. Let's come off it from the other way. Look at that sunrise, wow. Just looks like almost like a painting in the sky, that. Let's come back round. There we go. Let's come at this Sowerby from this side. Flamborough Head and the cliffs. Here we have Flamborough Head and the whole cliff line. Nice. I walked all the way along here with my granddad from Germany. From the end there. All along the coast here. Done it 2, maybe even 3 times over the years. And I'm just going to repeat it now because what's so far taken us about 20 seconds to fly. Maybe 30 now. And here's we come on to Sowerby back into town. Certainly no more than 30 to 40 seconds. That entire walk would take us about 4 hours to do. Admittedly, there was a couple of times we had to go from the cliff top down to the sea level and then climb back up. And to do that 2 or 3 times, that takes it out here when it's a couple of 100 or so feet, maybe more. I can't remember exactly how high it is, but certainly when you've done it, you need to have a sit down again. Yeah. All right. So that's that. Let's continue on. Put the burners on just for a sec to get a bit of speed on again. Here we are. Let's stop the next one. There's a little place here that eats. You see these little areas that sort of eat into the cliff. I'll zoom in. Here's one and here's another. Well, this one here is actually where they filmed the name escapes me now. What was it? Dad's Army. You know Dad's Army, they had the series and then they did the film, and they had the German U-boat that came and it was on a secret mission. Well, all of that was filmed in here. And I was one of the people when they were filming it that was stood up at the top looking down. They'd obviously sealed the whole place off and had police and everything to make sure you couldn't go down there and mess it up for them. But yeah, that all took place with the U-boat and all that spy stuff, and we saw all the actors swimming in the water, which they must have had suits on because the water was freezing back then, and they were in there for, you know, between scene after scene. And here we have the cliffs again. These cliffs here are called Benson Cliffs. Got a big RSPCA site, or RSPB, let's not protection of animals, protection of birds, RSPB, and they've got some of the largest cliffs here in the UK. They're not as white as the Dover Cliffs, but a large reason for that is, without getting too graphic about it, there's literally millions of birds that live here, and you can imagine if there's millions of birds that live in the cliffs, when they gotta go, right? And even if the cliff was white, it ain't gonna be perfectly white for much longer. And it smells like it too. But for those that like that sort of thing, and it's certainly a very pleasant walk along the top. There's the cliff site. We'll fly further north. There's another one of these holiday homes there. That's Reeton. And we're coming along to Hornsey here. If I fly inverted, I can just look out the top of the canopy for a bit. This here is the town of Hornsey. Oh, it's making me feel sick. And yeah, that there's Hornsey. And here what you have sticking out on the end is Hornsey Brig. Or Filey Brig, sorry. Not Hornsey, this is Filey. Filey. And that there's Filey Brig. Bit of a car park on the top of that hill. Further back. And this at the front, if you're very careful, there's no solid footpath to the end here. It's just a load of rocks, and obviously with the sea splashing on, it gets very wet and slippy with the seaweed and that. But if you've got a steady foot and you want to, you can come out here and get some really nice pictures. Let's do a once over the seafront there. Let's climb. I often like to come here with Helen, my girlfriend. Will park there, that place you see behind us, which is Reeton, and we'll come down here and walk along the beach here towards Hornsey. We'll grab a drink or something and then walk back before we get the car back home, which yeah. And then up here from this height, you can see it a bit better if I roll to the right a bit more. You can see here all the car park and then the path that takes you about there, and then you've got to come down. Again, there's no solid path to the very end. You've got to navigate that yourself. Alright, let's continue up. Definitely getting lighter now. And the further north we go, the less well I will know the area. We did do some walking last summer along the coast here. Up here, it was the first time I'd actually walked along around here. It was really, really nice, and there was a load of other people doing the same thing who were also nice. It was just, you know, in between what was otherwise not a very nice year, it was a really nice thing to do. And here we are, the town of Scarborough. Are you coming to Scarborough Fair? That old song. Well, it was all set from here. Scarborough Fair obviously being a thing that's long gone. In fact, when I was very young, it was still there, but basically in the process of falling apart, becoming unused, and people, you know, wanting different, more exciting things. And the hill here, we don't actually see a castle on it, but on that hill, just here that sticks out, is Scarborough Castle, or the ruins of. You can pay to have a look round the ruins, but frankly, it's not really worth it. You can not pay and walk right round the outside of it, and in my opinion, there's not enough left to see. Unlike some places I've been to where there's, you know, it's definitely worth paying to see. There's just not, you know, unless you're really into your history and want to look at every little last worn away brick. You can walk around the outside for free. There's the harbour, obviously. Got some friends that own a holiday home there that we like to go to. Give us mates rates, so-called. And they've got a nice park in Scarborough. P-Zone Park. I'll see if I can fly over it. Yeah, lovely seafront, so-called south side there and the north side there, divided by the castle. They've got a big, well, it looks big when you're down there, big hill here with a big mast on, big radio hill. That's worth climbing up and seeing if you're coming here for, you know, a few days, just once, come up here. In fact, just there you can make out the, make out that there's something just there. Got the railway track here. Yeah, the park is this whole area here. It's a large area tucked away. I say tucked away. It's in between all the buildings, but when you're there, it feels, because of the way it's like you go left, you go right, and there's all these different trees and bushes you can't just see across. There is a big lake which you can see there that's got boats and that on pedal boats, and a little island on the lake. It makes it feel far bigger than from up here it looks it is. And as you walk around it, it's yeah, it's really nice. It's one of those few places that's been preserved to what I would argue is how it was. And down here you've got, I don't know, some people call them Japanese gardens, some people call them, I don't know, every nation, Italian gardens, I don't know which, but they're hidden in the seafront. They're also very nice. Again, very, very well kept. I'm not saying the entire area of Scarborough is that well kept, it certainly is not, but there are those areas. And again, this business with the golf course. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into that. Wrong video. But 2 golf courses, one north, one south. Look into it. Any town. Golf courses. 2 of them. One north, one south. I'm not saying it's always like that, but more often than not, if there's one, north and south, take a look. You might want to delve into that. You might not. You might think that's crazy talk, in which case, forget it. Clouds certainly a bit less over here as we fly north on from Scarborough. Definitely getting lighter. Still got that bluish early morning tinge. But looks like the sun has caught us up at where we are at now. Down at about 5,000 feet before, if you remember those. If you were there at the start, we had to climb up to 30,000 feet to see the sun. Still quite a high cliff front. It was because there were so many cliff fronts along this coastline. And over to the east, somewhere where I'm looking over that way, was, or still is, Germany. That in the war, there were only certain areas that didn't have these cliff fronts where they were at all concerned that the Germans might land if there was an invasion. And that's why everywhere on the east coast of the UK that doesn't have a sort of natural cliff front to it would put all these concrete bollards down to make it very difficult for the tanks and so on to try and just roll up the beach. Actually just done away with some of them in our area. They'd been there the whole time. And for some reason, just this last year or two, they decided to do away with some of them. I always just liked them as it was just this historical thing. Didn't need to get rid of it, in my opinion, but I don't know. They got rid of some, left others. Definitely getting more hilly here as we get north. Let's dive down. Take a closer look. And I don't really know my way up here. There'll be places like Whitby. In fact, this is Whitby, and the reason I know it is that the mouth to the little bit of water that comes in has got like this double harbour feature to it. And that there will be the Abbey. In fact, yeah, they have done. They've made it. That's the... with all those steps. I've forgotten how many steps, but it's sort of one of the more... I don't know if famous is the right word, but everybody that comes to Whitby that visits that Abbey is well aware of all the stairs that they have to climb to get there. And there's the bridge that crosses it. Very nice place, this. Probably the first more upmarket place that we've flown past this flight. Certainly compared to the other towns and villages and so on. Yeah, Whitby. Posh. And again with the holiday home there, you see them with the static caravans and there again. Here we got the cliff, can see it a bit better now it's daylight coming on. Yeah, and that's about, we came up to Ravenscar last summer, I think it was called, and that was basically where we are now. Ish, and I remember driving up somewhere there. I remember if it was there, a bus driver cutting us off on this narrow thing. It was like just one car, and like we had to reverse for some cars coming. Fair enough, it was a one way. And then as they drove on, it was like our turn to go, and then this bus driver just come from the other side. And the thing was, because he then couldn't get round where we were, we had to reverse even more back. And I wanted to get out the car, I'm telling you, but I knew Helen wouldn't like it, so I stayed in. But, you know, when somebody just does something that is so unfair that not just you were waiting, but now you've got to go back even further, yeah, I really wanted to get out. Yeah, I can't quite remember how far north without having to obviously cheat and look on the map, but yeah, it wasn't this far now, because look, it's getting more and more built up over here, and we certainly didn't come this far up. So I'm thinking here we could be entering the Newcastle terrain, and judging by how many buildings and the sim there freezing as it either loads or processes some of the frame. Yeah, there we see the Tyne River. So I wanted to come in here because before landing, this is my end destination, I wanted to find the Angel of the North, which is to be found here. So we're going to come in and see if we can't find it. I'll zoom out just a tad. There we go. I'll see if we can't see anything. There's the sun. Wow, look at these clouds. Let's do a little bit of cloud surfing here while we look for this angel. Right about there. Right about there. Down we go. Oh, look at that mist. All right, Betty, we've got it. We've got it. treetop height over Newcastle. This would be a career-ending flight if ever you did it. A bit more cloud surfing, come on. After all these years in Flight Sim, they've finally gotten the clouds to sort of look and behave and seem right as you come near them, round them, through them. Until recently, in the last year or two, they just used to be pictures, and so obviously as you went closer to the clouds, you'd see like a 2D picture spinning around, and the way they try and get around it is they draw hundreds of different pictures of clouds and sort of try and vary them as you got near them, and of course you could still sort of see it when you were doing stuff like that, you know. Whereas here it's literally like this volumetric fog, which, if you really think about it, that's what a cloud is, right? It's a 3D sort of piece of very thick fog. You can harmlessly fly through, unless of course it's a cumulonimbus type cloud. Alright, so enough of that. Back to the Angel of the North, and because I don't know this area very well, I'm going to look at my menu here, and we've got a VFR map. Apparently, and perhaps, do you know what? I've still got a little bit of ways to go. I thought I was closer. I thought this was here. All right, so let's continue up. Let's continue. What a view. What a cloud. I just have to try and get through that little gap. There we go. Nice. Sun behind us, there it is. Beautiful. All right. All the little scratches and marks on the windshield here as well. Just little things that, you know, when the sun catches it just right, you see it. Just like real life, right? The sort of, I don't know, it's just how these things have come on over the years. I know in X-Plane there's a real pilot there that, well, there's a few of them, but there's one that very regularly flies in the X-Plane, who's a captain in real life, and he sort of shares all his real world procedures in with the sim, which is why his channel's so popular, and he's been doing that for a number of years. Makes, well, hundreds of videos overall. And he said in a stream recently he had absolutely no he had no doubts that the people that were fly that sim regularly, that sort of followed the rules and procedures and checklists and so on, could in real life get a plane from gate to gate, from one end to the other, and nobody on the outside would be any the wiser, providing that nothing sort of catastrophic went wrong, you know, like engine failure or something like that. And he said the only thing that would be different from your perspective would be the sort of weight of the feeling of the controls and the the sensations of being bumped around a bit in turbulence, that kind of thing. But he said other than that, it's exactly the same, every detail of it, exactly. Because that's how detailed the sims have come, right? And it was interesting to hear, you know, a captain saying that. And there are other training captains as well that use it for a training aid. There's this Italian guy, Pilot Climb channel, who's actually a training captain, and he uses it all the time. Alright, so here we are. Clearly this is not that sim. This is something else. This is just really nice for the graphics and for the way that they amalgamate the satellite terrain with the weather and so on. And at the moment, graphics wise, can't beat this one. As for realism, not so. But it's nice to look round. Let's come back here. Yeah, okay, so we're definitely closing in on the area. Wonder if they have it marked. Alright, we'll just continue we on heading. I think that's us there. GPS tracking. Oh, I see, that just locks us nice line. They're going to be the hills and mountains, I guess, or is it the weather? Never mind, let's stay like this. And we'll descend. Keep the speed on a little bit. Yeah, and it's got that nice, just sort of dingy, misty effect to it. Watch the wind farm. Let's climb. This Angel of the North's got to be here before too far. I'm hoping we'll be able to see it looking down, but if there's loads of clouds, yeah, so we're here, so, and I don't know exactly where. All that I know is it's in the Newcastle area around here, and we're here. And so if I turn right about 20 degrees ish, try them out, 320, 325. Again, part of my search procedures has got to involve being able to see between the clouds. If it's just clouds, it's not going to help. That sun reflection on the dash. I mean, that's a real world kind of bother, right? The sun reflecting on the thing and you can't see properly. I've just got to do it. I can't look at that and not do it. There we go. Wings sideways. Whee! Yeah, warning. Terrain may be closer than it appears. Certainly was then. Not much gap beneath the clouds. Well, bit of struggle there as it processes or whatever it is it's doing. Let's have a little look then. Right, so we're right here. There we are, that big plane. In fact, if anything, we need to be a tiny bit to the right. What are the odds be? Right where we need to be looking for this thing. The cloud is at its lowest point. Well, you know what? We're going to find it anyway. Look at that sun. It looks like a molten egg. Come on. Focus. The wind farms everywhere across the UK. I don't know why, because if you've looked into how much it costs to make those things and maintain them, in terms of not money, in terms of energy, materials, and so on, you know, how long they have to run to pay for themselves from an energetic point of view, and then add into that the maintenance and the digging up and all the rest of it. I do wonder, you know, when you look at, say, hydropower, how much energy that stuff creates. Why don't we just build more hydro? I mean, ask places in Las Vegas, like with the Hoover Dam, right? How much, I'm not saying it's easy to just make the Hoover Dam, but in terms of how much energy that thing produces versus thousands of these things at some point, I wonder. Right. Meanwhile, back to searching for the Angel of the North. Like, you can really appreciate how difficult these people that do these searches from the air. Alright, we're in a jet, not in a helicopter, but even so, like, you've got this area to search and it's like, well, how do you begin? Like, you're just looking down there the whole time and it feels like proper needle in a haystack kind of, yeah, we're right where we want to be, so let's double back. But this is sort of, I might have to cheat and look at a map in real life, because this could just take ages otherwise. Well, the F18 in real life has got like an auto pilot and auto throttle. I'm just thinking, it's just the warning. Okay. Look how pink it is. Alright, a little bit too pink maybe. Maybe. I don't know, I'm not in Newcastle. Maybe it is this pink, I don't know. Just seems a little bit too pink. Could it, mind you, yeah, now we're down below. Could the sky be like that? I don't know. I have seen it like that. It's rare, but you do get it like that on occasion. Now we're looking for this big thing that would be on a hill with wings. There's a plane there. First plane we've seen. Ah. I assume he took off from Newcastle. Assuming he is a he. Oh yeah, frames have definitely tanked round here with all their scenery, so I'm hoping we'll just see it silhouetted in the distance up on a hill. Wow. Look at all the bridges. Like, how many bridges? All the blue-topped houses, what's that all about? Okay. Interesting. Beautiful morning. How are we doing for fuel? Looks like we're still about half full. Tried to be very conservative with the afterburner, and it's obviously well the fuel goes right. Look at that. It's like there's a lot of roadworks around that as well. Still don't see this Angel of the North thing, but you know, it's quite enjoyable flying around this city. I didn't know how big it was. Oh. Wow. All the containers. Let's try and zoom in a tad. Yeah, and as soon as we get away from the city centre, look at the frame rate, picks right back up. Nice and smooth again. Trying to find this Angel. Well, it should get easier now as it gets lighter. It's already clearer around here as well. It was already really clear further south, but as we came north, there was that mist in the air, definitely clearing off. Come on. I've seen it, pictures of it many times, and it's on one of these hills. It's this really big statue's the wrong word. It's half statue, half sculpture, half piece of art. I love that effect with the sort of mist and the dinginess. I know it's preventing me from finding what I'm looking for, but it's so nice at the same time. And same, you know, to the people that say it'd be nice to get a DCS, which is the combat sim, you know, so the weapons and radar and everything from that into the graphics and weather effects of this, it's like, do I agree? Yes, it would be really nice, but it would also be nice to get the realism from X-Plane as well. And there's so many people that forget about that, because there's so many people that, you know, haven't had their chance to fly real aircraft and don't really know where the realism sort of marker is at. They know what graphics look like, they see it with their own eyes, but the realism, and I just think, yeah, the graphics from one, the realism from one, and the weapons from one, then you've got your perfect sort of flight sim game all in one. But right now, you've got 3 different games and each of them has its strong point, and that's why I fly all 3. And it would be really nice to combine them. But alas, that's still a ways away. Look at that effect. Very, very heavy on the orange. Oh, I'm going to guess I just accidentally stumbled across Newcastle. Look at the rain there over the canopy. I'm going to guess this is Newcastle Airport here. Yeah. this was my end destination. This spot. Look at that tower. That tower's huge. Really? Okay. I'm not sure I can set up any procedures on this device. I'll give it a go, but I don't think so. HSI. Waypoint 1. Which is my destination. Doug's. Data. HSI. Okay, this is it, I think. ILS. Yeah, okay. Visual approach it is. Whoa. Bit slow. Yeah, the handling of this certainly not quite right. Look at the leading edge flaps here. Watch how they point down when I pull alpha there like that, making the wing curve much bigger so that the wings basically can give more lift. And then they straighten out again like that when they don't need to give as much lift to make them more aerodynamic. That happens by itself, all automatic. Clever. Alright, where's your runway gone? Now let's look on the map here, let's zoom in. I think it's this waypoint 1 here. I just need to get the angle right. I'm going to fly past. What angle do I need to approach that dot from? And the angle will be... I should have paid more attention before, but you know, it never hurts to go around. It's going to be around 245. Okay. Reciprocal is... out there. Yes, I'm going to head for that dot. That is my end destination, that dot. And arrive it and a heading of 245-ish. And then that should put me in line with the runway based on what we've just seen. So let's make that happen. Let's dump the wheels and flaps to half. Oh, look at that cloud. Alright, go on then. I just have to play with this one. Burners on. Go on. Over we go. Let's zoom out a little bit. Whee! With my wheels out. Never mind. We didn't overspeed. Alright. There's the dot where we need to go. Stay below 250. The wheels are out. Let's go flaps full as well. Wheels out, flaps full. Speed brakes on. Seems to be struggling to slow down. And let's just do, I'll get rid of the speed brakes now. We'll do one corkscrew descent. And see there, the airport's behind us. Which gives us an ample opportunity to lower and slow. And roll out on a heading of 245-ish. Looks like I've almost got it. There's 240 if you look where that triangle is. And just a little bit further should be 245. About there. Look at that. That was not training and skill. That was just luck that I rolled out. And look at that. There's the runway. Oh, it was as if by design. As if I'd done it 100 times. And I seriously haven't. Never been here before. In the game. Hence I couldn't find the Angel of the North. But you know what? That bit worked out. Got a little bit of a crosswind from the right to left. So gonna have to crab to the right a bit to try and line up. Let's zoom in a little bit now. So 4 whites, sorry, means we're a little bit too high. If you look by the runway, there's 4 light there. There's 1 gone red. That means we want 2 red, 2 white, which is about there. So at the right height now. A little low now. And with respect to this donut, this is inside the aircraft. That yellow circle there, that means we're at the right speed. If we see it with the red, we're a bit too fast. If we see it with the green, we're a bit too slow. It's the angle of attack really, but it's based on speed and airflow over the wing and so on. Let's keep going. And whoa, 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 whoa. Obviously land it hard. It's a carrier plane. They don't flare for landing. They just slam into the runway in the way that they were coming before. But it don't like to slow down very quick. I guess usually we'd employ the hook, but whoa, almost rolled over there on landing. That's a crosswind for you. Get rid of the speed brake. And flaps up. Whoops, no, I didn't want that. Whoops, no, 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 no. Can I look round? There we go. That's what we were in. And here we are. I'm going to the grass. There we are, back inside. All right. You know what I'm going to do later is fly this over some of the places where DCS flies. And I know it's a separate game, you know, we won't be able to see them or interact with them, but I just want to see how some of the scenery compares. I have had a quick look in some areas and it's very, very different. It's and some areas are surprisingly the same. You'd think it would all be the same, but it's not. Let's take this one. Avoiding the passenger bus. That's an old school passenger bus, that. Here we go. Imagine seeing a jet like this pull up at one of these airways at Newcastle or wherever airport. There we go. Parking brake.